Dear students, today I will be teaching biophysical chemistry. So this is physical chemistry for 4th semester students, MSc students. So we have CHP HCT 4.2 physical chemistry 4. So this is unit 1, 16-hour syllabus. So now this 16 hours is divided into two parts. One, we have biophysical chemistry in this, and application of quantum mechanics. So in biophysical chemistry we have to study electrophoresis and and most of the things related to proteins, like biological significance of Donan membrane, equilibrium, miscellaneous, salting in, salting out of proteins. So these are the syllabus, these are the topics which are present in this biophysical chemistry. So now we will start with electrophoresis. So electrophoresis. So here electrophoresis is the migration of charged particles under the influence of applied electric field. So let us assume we have two electrodes here. One is negatively charged and another one is positively charged, that is cathode and anode. Now this is connected to a battery. So when we place this in a buffer solution containing our biomolecules, now based on the pH of the buffer medium, these biomolecules will acquire either negative charge or positive charge. If the biomolecules acquire negative charge, they will move towards positively charged electrode. So while moving, if more than one component is there, then separation will take place. Okay, so this is electrophoresis. So in simple, electrophoresis is the movement of charged particles under the influence of applied electric field. So there are various applications of this electrophoresis. So it can be quantitative, qualitative, as well as we can use it for purification technique. So here in quantitative we can measure the amount of material which is present, concentration of biomolecule like DNA, RNA, protein, etc. So in qualitative analysis, so what we can do is we can find the purity of the sample. So usually nowadays modern day scientists use this for determining the molecular weight of protein, and also for DNA sequencing, DNA and RNA sequencing. So these are some of the applications of this electrophoresis technique. So let us move to principle of electrophoresis. So as I already told, any particle when placed in aqueous solution, they will acquire some charge. It may be negative charge or positive charge. That depends upon the pH of the buffer. So let me give an example how it acquires the charge. So let us take an example of amino acid. So the general formula of amino acid is NH2CrCOOH. So when this amino acid is present in acidic solution, then here NH2 will exist as NH3, and therefore this amino acid in acidic solution will acquire positive charge. Similarly, when this amino acid is present in basic medium, the base will abstract this COOH, it will attract this H of carbonyl group and it will acquire negative charge. And therefore, once this biomolecule like protein, DNA, RNA, they acquire charge, they can, based on the pH, they can acquire either positive charge or negative charge. The positively charged molecule will move towards cathode and negatively charged particle will move towards anode. So now, since our molecule has acquired charge, let us assume the charge acquired by the molecule is Q. Q is the charge acquired by the molecule. Now, since the molecule is moving towards the electrode, some force is acting on this molecule, and this force is given as F is equal to Q into delta E by D. Delta E by D. So where F is the force acting on the molecule, Q is the charge on the molecule, delta E by D is the electric field which is acting on the molecule. So here delta E is the potential difference. Delta E is the potential difference. Potential difference. And D is the distance between two electrodes. Distance between two electrodes. So we can observe that force acting on the molecule is directly proportional to the potential difference, and it is inversely proportional to the distance between the two electrodes. Force is also directly proportional to the charge on the molecule. So now what will happen? The molecule, since the molecule is moving, there is also some force which is opposing this movement, and that force is called as frictional force. Okay, that force is called as frictional force. And from Stokes law, frictional force is given as 6 pi neta RV, where neta is the viscosity of the medium, R is the radius of the molecule, which is nothing but size of the molecule, V is the velocity with which the molecule is moving. So now, since at equilibrium, at some stage, what happens? The force which is moving the molecule is equal to the frictional force. So therefore, what we can write is 6 pi neta RV is equal to, at equilibrium, Q delta E divided by D. Q delta E divided by D. And by rearranging this equation, we find that V is equal to Q delta E 6 pi neta R D. So from this equation we can observe that the velocity with which the molecule is migrating is directly proportional to the charge on the molecule. Potential difference, it is inversely proportional to viscosity of the medium, radius of the molecule, and the distance between two electrodes. So this is the basic principle of electrophoresis. So in next part, now we will move to factors affecting electrophoresis. What are the factors that affect electrophoresis? So factors affecting electrophoresis, here there are various factors which affect electrophoresis. One, we have charge to mass ratio. So in this we are going to study three things. One is charge, how charge will affect the electrophoresis. size of the molecule, and here we also have shape of the molecule. And second one is electric field. How electric field will affect the migration, that is what we are going to study here. Fourth one, we have effect of buffer. So in effect of buffer, once again we have three things. Okay, one is pH of the buffer, nature of the buffer, and then we have absorption. Okay, absorption. And finally we have fifth one, we have to study medium. How medium will affect, what type of medium we use, and how medium will affect electrophoresis. Coming to first one, charge to mass ratio, that is charge. So already we have written this equation. V is equal to Q into delta E 6 pi neta R D. So here we can observe that the velocity with which the particle migrates is directly proportional to the charge on the particle. So that means as the charge on the particle increases, the velocity, the electrophoretic mobility of the molecule also increases. Now we have to remember that charge is independent of pH of the buffer. Charge, the molecule acquires charge based on the different types of or number of polar groups which are present in that molecule, like COOH, NH2. The pH of the buffer only decides whether the molecule will acquire either positive charge or negative charge, and it does not affect the amount of charge it acquires. So therefore, the velocity with which the molecule migrates is directly proportional to the charge of the molecule. So next we have size. So we can observe from this equation, V is inversely proportional to R, radius R. So therefore, what we can say is, larger the molecule, smaller will be the electrophoretic mobility. Larger the molecule, what will happen? It will exert more frictional force. Okay, more frictional force, and therefore the mobility of this large molecule tends to slow. So from this equation we can clearly see that the velocity with which the molecule is migrating is inversely proportional to the radius. So as the molecule becomes larger and larger, what happens? The electrophoretic mobility is going to slow down. Whereas smaller molecules tend to move faster because friction will be lesser. So next we have shape. See, the molecule can acquire different types of shape. So the molecule can acquire spherical shape or it can be linear. So when we observe, spherical size molecules have smaller size, whereas the molecules having linear will have larger size. So let me give one example. We have here neopentane and n-pentane. So n-pentane is linear chain, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is n-pentane. Now if we observe the boiling point of n-pentane is higher when compared to neopentane. That is because neopentane will have smaller size, because it is branched, it will have smaller size, whereas neopentane will have larger size. So now the boiling point, it depends upon the van der Waals force of attraction. Since larger molecule have more van der Waals force of attraction, the molecule tend to stick together and therefore its boiling point will be higher because its size is larger. So what happens? The van der Waals force of attraction will be higher, and therefore the linear chain will have higher boiling point. Similarly here, so since the molecule is round, it is smaller in size, and therefore friction will be lesser, and hence its electrophoretic mobility will be higher. So this is about charge to mass. Now let us study the effect of electric field on the electrophoretic mobility. So here from this equation we can see that V is proportional to delta E by D. Delta E by D, where delta E by D is the applied electric field. So now the rate of migration, of charged particle under unit potential gradient is called as electrophoretic mobility or mobility of ion. So that is mobility of ion is the rate of migration of charged particle under unit potential gradient. Now we see that since two electrodes are there, one is positively charged and another one is negatively charged, the current is carried by ions. Since the ions are charged, either they are negatively charged or positively charged, the current carried by ion. So here see, if the concentration of buffer is higher, then large amount of current is carried, and then heat is generated. So we observe that if the concentration of buffer is very much higher, the electric current which is carried by buffer will be higher, and then the electric current carried by molecules, our sample will be lower. So and therefore the current will be higher. So during this process heat is generated, and because heat is generated, what happens? Our buffer solution will become less viscous. So as we know, viscosity is related to temperature, directly related to temperature. As the temperature increases, the viscosity decreases. Okay, it decreases, and therefore the moment of sample will be higher. At the same time, evaporation of buffer is also another challenge here. So as the system gets heated due to current flow, so what happens? The buffer gets evaporated and the solution becomes concentrated. So in this case, since the concentration of buffer is increasing, more charge is carried by buffer ions rather than sample, and therefore the movement of sample will slow down. So our separation will get affected. So this is the effect of electric field. So next we will move to buffer. So in buffer, first one we have pH. So as I already told, pH of the buffer will decide whether our sample molecule will acquire negative charge or positive charge. Say like protein samples or amino acid. So these samples, since they have both the group NH2 group and COOH group, so in case if our buffer is acidic, then COH will remain intact and NH2 will convert into NH3 plus, and therefore our protein sample will acquire positive charge. So this is how the pH will affect electrophoresis. Then nature of buffer. Different types of buffers are used. So mainly the buffer used are citrate, borate, EDTA, So tris, pyridine. So these are the different buffers which are used in electrophoresis. Now here the main thing is buffer should be inert. That means buffer should not react with our sample molecule. So if the buffer reacts with sample molecule, then instead of one peak, we may also get 2 peak. Say for example, if we are analyzing protein, so let us say we are analyzing albumin. So this albumin, if you use borate buffer, so we get 2 peaks in electrophoresis. One is for pure albumin, and another one will be a borate albumin complex. Okay, and another one will be borate albumin complex. So in some cases, this is also helpful. Say for example, if you want to analyze carbohydrate is inert. That means this carbohydrate in aqueous solution, it will not acquire any charge, and therefore, so what happens when we use borate? This borate will form a complex with carbohydrate, and this is charged, and therefore we can purify this carbohydrate by using borate buffer. So this is the nature of buffer.